Welcome to Reinvent Yourself, the best awareness and self-improvement channel on YouTube. Today's video topic is 3 good reasons why being disappointed is a good thing. One's greatest failures come after their greatest successes. Theodore Beecher. Have you ever experienced disappointment? Any of your life's events could be it. Maybe you weren't chosen for a promotion at work. Perhaps a business deal was lost. Perhaps the person you liked did not reciprocate your feelings. Maybe things didn't work out in your relationship. Perhaps a friend turned on you. It's possible that your business failed. What was it like? How did you feel? Were you disappointed? Did you think the world was ending in these very dire cases? When something doesn't live up to your expectations, you feel disappointed. People deal with disappointments on a daily basis. This sensation could pass quickly or linger in your life for a long time, depending on the severity of the disappointment and how you handle it. Disappointments can trigger sadness and eventually indifference if they are not properly handled. The benefits of disappointments. Contrary to popular belief, there are 3 main reasons why being disappointed is a good thing. Number 1, disappointment is the result of intense desire. Each cause has a result. Consider disappointment as an outcome, with your love for the subject matter acting as the cause. For instance, you are disappointed in a buddy since you value the friendship so much. Because you are so serious about meeting the right person, you are disappointed in your most recent dates. Since you sincerely want your business to flourish, you are disappointed in its failure because you have a strong commitment to the purpose of your employment. Martin Luther King Jr. quoted, "There can be no disappointment where there is no deep love." You are motivated to achieve your goals by this intense affection. Be aware that dissatisfaction is a more good feeling than apathy. People with apathetic mindsets are unconcerned with anything. Being like this is the same as being a robot. But in this situation, you can feel your emotions, whether they are positive or negative. This is advantageous since feeling allows one to connect with their inner selves. Number 2, disappointment presents a chance for development. Every time we experience disappointment, our reality-based assumptions have been flawed. What makes me say that? Let's begin with the source of your disappointment. Because your expectations were not met, you feel let down, so you experience disappointment. It can be related to losing a contest you put a lot of training into, making an investment in a friendship just to have the acquaintance not return the favor, or risking your job for it only to be fired because your employer didn't value you. Each time you had an expectation that was not fulfilled, and each time when the reality set in, you felt let down. In this case, the discrepancy between reality and your expectation is what makes you disappointed. However, reality has always been this way. It did not change in the split second before you learned the truth. The entire world did not work against you. You learned the reality, and the fact is not what you anticipated it to be, which is why you feel let down. So use your disappointment as a diagnostic tool to identify any gaps in your perception of reality. You gain knowledge and wisdom by utilizing disappointment to correct your presumptions and learn more about the world. To more effectively accomplish your goals, you can also modify your behavior. If you are getting value from this video, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Number 3, failure forges your character. Not to mention, despite the cliche, disappointment makes you stronger. You grow tougher when you experience a difficult emotion like that. You develop the ability to understand and manage your emotions. You develop a greater resistance to the challenges of life. Are you allowing your setbacks to ruin you? What is your typical response to disappointment? Do you try to avoid them in your life? Do you try to sleep them off in hopes of feeling better in the morning? How to handle disappointment wrongly when faced with disappointment. Many people feel like they're in an unfamiliar environment. They respond to disappointment in a harmful way because they are not taught how to do so in school or in life. Do you use any of these techniques to cope with disappointment? Number 1, pass the time by engaging in other things. The first bad strategy is to distract yourself from your disappointment with unrelated activity. Go out to a party, eat, sleep, shop, or play games. Some people resort to using drugs, alcohol, or even sex to prevent being left alone with disappointment. The intention is to engage in thoughtless random tasks. While it's acceptable to play games or sleep off bad feeling, the issue arises when you use these activities excessively to cope with unhappiness rather than tackling the issue head on. The same principle applies to rebound relationships. In an effort to avoid coping with the agony of breakup, the person rushes into a new relationship in an effort to move on from their ex. While engaging in other activities to divert your attention would temporarily make you feel happier, they will not help you solve the problem. You soon encounter another circumstance that results in disappointment once more. You seek for more diversion rather than finding a solution. As a result, things start to become worse. Number 2, reject your ambition. The second strategy is to ignore your objective and act as though they don't exist. You act unconcerned on the outside, but you do care in your heart. Since disappointment does not occur when there are no expectations, you train yourself not to have any. People who have experienced abusive relationships, for instance, frequently develop barriers to love. They seem distant and uninterested in love from the outside. However, they secretly yearn to meet that special someone. They suppress their desires for a relationship and refuse to open up to others because they are afraid of being hurt. Later on, their denial comes back to haunt them, leading to a reaction. Have you ever encountered anybody like this? Although they give off the impression that they don't care, they actually do. They ultimately experience more misery as a result of suppressing their urges. Number 3, abandon your objective. Giving up on your objectives is the third strategy. Of the 3 approaches, this is arguably the worst. You accept that you will never achieve your ambitions, even though you yearn to do so. You lower your estimation of yourself, discounting your value and believing that you are not destined for success. You spend your days attempting to persuade yourself and those around you that you cannot accomplish your objectives, despite the fact that they are entirely within your grasp. What takes place when you react negatively to disappointments? If you have handled disappointments in the way described above, you are not handling them correctly. I mentioned in part 1 that one of the benefits of disappointment is that it shows a person's commitment to a project. The more disappointed you are, the more passionate you become. Every time you make an effort to ignore your disappointment, downplay your ambition, or even give up on them, you are rejecting your own self. Your objectives, wants, dreams, visions, true self, everything is being denied. These desires are there for a reason, and that reason does not call for denying them. If you have the ability to imagine it, or even to think about it, this universe has the ability and the resources to deliver it fully unto you. Esther and Jerry Hicks write in their book, As and It Is Given. Denying your ambition causes you to become hollow from the inside out. You can try to act like everything is okay and go about your daily activities, but you cannot deceive your subconscious mind. Living seems to be an empty act every day. You notice that over time, you go from being disappointed to being apathetic. You go through your day each day like a zombie, without enthusiasm or passion. You start to shrivel up on the inside and everything appears empty and bare. It doesn't have to be this way, which is wonderful news. Your disappointment is shared by many people. Everyone, including your friends, families, teachers, supervisors, co-workers, and bosses, has experienced disappointment at some point, be it in love, health, relationships, or at work. I have experienced disappointment in the past as well. Nobody is exempt from disappointment, including you. Even though disappointment is an emotion that is unconsciously triggered, you can choose how you want to respond to it. You can live your life the way it was meant to be lived in accordance with your true passion and desires, as long as you learn how to properly handle your setbacks and move on. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video. Until then, subscribe to the channel for more videos.